Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I am rating all My Hero Academia fights Season 2. If you haven't seen me do all the fights in Season 1, please go watch that. So, as you can tell, this one's probably a little longer. So, let's get started with the first fight of Season 2 being Deku versus Shinso. Yeah, I know there's the race with the obstacle course and the cavalry thing, but I'm not counting those as fights. So the first technical fight that I'm counting is Deku versus Shinso. I give this fight an 8 out of 10 because it was just really good in my opinion. Todoroki versus Sero. I give this fight a 5 out of 10 because it was not fair at all. Sero couldn't have won even if he tried his hardest, and I don't know if he was trying his hardest, but Todoroki at this point, and probably still now, is just way, way stronger. Kaminari versus Shiozaki. I give this fight a 4 out of 10, as just like the previous one, it wasn't fair at all. Shiozaki was just way more powerful at this point. Ida versus Hatsume. I give this fight a 6 out of 10 just because it was funny. Like, how Hatsume used Ida just to advertise her hero equipment. So that's why. But since it wasn't really they just didn't actually fight. It was just like an advertisement, and it was 10 minutes. It says 10 minutes later during the fight. So if it was an actual fight and they were advertising, but not just advertising, it would probably be higher. Ashido versus Aoyama. I give this fight a 6 out of 10 because, like the previous one, it was also funny. And it wasn't that fair. Ashido destroyed Aoyama. Alright. Tokoyami versus Yaoyorozu. I give this fight a 5 out of 10 as, like the other ones, Tokoyami was just way more powerful than Yaoyorozu at this point. Kirishima versus Tetsu. I give this fight an 8 out of 10 as it was funny and it was fair, unlike the previous 3 fights. It was actually fair. Alright. Uraraka versus Bakugo. I also give this fight an 8 out of 10 because it said that Bakugo was actually had to try to beat Uraraka. And it was just a good fight overall. Very well matched. Deku versus Todoroki. I put the GIF thing because this is... Here, I'll let you watch it. There. Okay. So, I give this fight a 10 out of 10 because it was an amazing fight, really good, and very well matched. Ida versus Shiozaki. I give this fight a 5 out of 10 because it ended really quickly. And I don't know, it was just kind of unfair. I just think that it could have been a better fight. For these two characters, it definitely could have been a better fight than Ida just pushing her out of the ring. It could have been a way better fight, in my opinion. I feel like that it could have been an actual good fight. Okay, Tokoyami versus Ashido. I give this fight a 5 out of 10 because literally it ended in 2 seconds. Dark Shadow just went boop, and then she fell out of the ring. I mean, look at her. Look at Pink Girl. Look at her. She's not winning that. Okay, Kirishima versus Bakugo. I give this fight a 7 out of 10 as it was good, but kinda unfair. Ida versus the power between Bakugo was stronger than Kirishima at this point, and Kirishima couldn't really hit him because Bakugo was a ranged attacker. Kirishima was more of a closed-in attacker. So, but I mean, in this image they are pretty close. But either way, Ida versus Todoroki. I give this fight an 8 out of 10 as it was good, and even though Todoroki, I don't remember how fast it was, but I know that that I actually kind of liked it. It was good. This was these are the fights I want, where it's even though it's kind of obvious who's gonna win. Well, it wasn't kind of obvious, but the fights where it's kind of obvious who's gonna win, but it is still close. Okay, Tokoyami versus Bakugo. I give this fight a 7 out of 10 because it was good, but they really wanted they gave Tokoyami 2 easy fights, and then they just make him go up against the guy who literally his quirk is like his weakness. But I guess he did get here he got like 2 easy fights and then fought basically his weakness. If this was at night, I think Tokoyami would have won, but he might have gone out of control. Either way, Todoroki versus Bakugo. The final sports festival fight. I give this an 8 out of 10 as it was good, but it could have been better. If Todoroki actually used his flames, I think Todoroki would have won if he had used his flames. Like, honestly, I think he would have won. Okay, now Deku versus Gran Torino. This is their first fight. I give it a 5 out of 10 as it was more unfair than Todoroki versus Sero. Okay, maybe not, but close. Okay, Deku versus Gran Torino 2. I give this fight a 7 out of 10 as it was better, and Deku actually almost won. Well, he didn't almost win, but he actually hit Gran Torino, as in the other one, he didn't at all. He didn't even touch him. He didn't even touch his cape. Okay. Mariner Crew, which was Sue's internship, the seal man, versus octopus people. I don't know what they're called. Just octopus people. I give this fight an 8 out of 10 as it was like a good amount of the episode it was in. It might have been the whole episode, actually. I'm not sure. But it was good, and it was a fair fight. It was very fair. Well, kinda. Okay. Pro Heroes versus these Nomus, or Hosu Nomus. I give this fight a 5 out of 10, as it wasn't fair until Endeavor showed up. Like, it was not. If Endeavor didn't show up, they would have absolutely all lost. Okay, Gran Torino and Endeavor versus this Nomu. Like, look, Gran Torino literally just destroys him. It was really easy. I give this fight a 7 out of 10, as it was cool watching them work together. They're just a combo that I didn't expect. Okay, Endeavor versus these Nomus. I give this fight a 5 out of 10 because it was just funny how Endeavor just absolutely beat them, and it was so funny, just because Endeavor, like, it looked like the Nomu was winning, then Endeavor just shows up and goes, burning you, and then the Nomus are just dead. Okay, Deku, Ida, and Todoroki versus Stain. I give this fight a 9 out of 10. It was a really good fight, and I thought Stain was gonna win, or I thought Stain was gonna win, and then Endeavor or Gran Torino was gonna show up, but no, they were able to do it. Okay, now we're into the final exams. So we have Sato and Kirishima versus Cementos. I give this fight a 4 out of 10, as these two, against Cementos, there was no way they could win. Even if they did try, well, they were trying, but if they didn't use a bad strategy of just destroying the cement wall. Okay, Tokoyami and Sue versus Ectoplasm. I give this fight an 8 out of 10, as Tokoyami and Sue was actually a really good combo, and the fight was very close. I actually thought that they were going to lose, but they won. Okay, Ida and Ojiro versus Power Loader. I give this fight also an 8 out of 10, as it was good, and even though we didn't see much of it, it was actually really cool how their strategy actually was really cool. Okay, Yaoyorozu and Todoroki versus Eraserhead, or in this picture, Spider-Man. I give this fight a 9 out of 10, as the strategies in this fight, it was a good fight, and then but the strategies on both sides, on Todoroki and Yaoyorozu and then Eraserhead, both their strategies were really good, but that's probably because they have the smartest people on their team. Anyways, we have Aoyama and Uraraka versus 13. I give this fight a 7 out of 10, as even though we didn't see much of it, we got to see gunhead martial arts. And it was actually really close. I thought they were going to lose. Okay, Ashido and Kaminari versus Nezu. I give this fight a 5 out of 10, as they were going to lose anyway. They put the principal, and he's really smart. He's the smart animal, if you know. But you probably know who I'm talking about. And then they put the two people who failed the written exam, Yeah, the written test. They failed. They got they were the two lowest. And then they put them against the smartest, maybe not the smartest person in school, but definitely up there. One of the if not the smartest person in the school against these two. The person who can't control his quirk, Kaminari, and the person whose quirk wouldn't help in this situation at all. And then the principal got a freaking crane. How are you supposed to win against that? He had a crane at the very start. Anyways, I give that fight a 5 out of 10. But literally, he got a crane right at the start. He literally just started in a crane. How are they supposed to win against that? Okay, Jiro and Koda versus President Mike. I give this fight a 7 out of 10 as it was definitely one of the better ones up there. Alright, next up, we have Shoji and Tagakure versus Snipe. I give this fight a 6 out of 10 as we saw the very end of it, and it was really cool. I think that these two should team up more. Them together, their quirks together actually work very well. Okay, Mineta and Zero versus Midnight. I give this fight a 5 out of 10. It just they just wanted to make an excuse to show how that Mineta could be strong. Well, he is, but compared to everyone else, Okay, Deku and Bakugo versus All Might. I give this fight a 10 out of 10. It was amazing, and I actually thought that Deku and Bakugo would lose. If All Might didn't have, the thing where, he has a time limit, if he didn't have that injury and had a time limit for, how long he could be or use One For All in his muscular form, Deku and Bakugo would have probably lost because he was also weakened in this. I don't think he might have been going 100% of his power then in time, but I don't think so. So I think if he was using 100% of his power when he was weakened then, he probably would have won, and if he wasn't weakened from the injury that he had, he still would have won. He would have absolutely dominated them. I think that's it. Yeah, that should be it. Okay, so, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one for Season 3, where I rate all the fights in Season 3. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.